Has great concerns about the deficit. He's Republican representative of New York. He's Congressman Tom Reed. Good to see you, Congressman.
It's good to see you. Thanks for having me on, Liz.
What are your thoughts about the spending deal?
I do have those grave concerns. I share the concerns expressed by my colleague there from Alabama in the sense of we came here in 2010 because of the national debt and the national debt crisis that's upon us. And to see us going down this path, I understand it's a bipartisan deal, but it's easy to cut a deal to spend taxpayer dollars. What I hope we can do is maybe going forward is we can come together to solve the problems of our debt and get the debt under control, as we did so much to grow the economy. That's going to help us on the revenue side of the ledger, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's concern in the bond trading pits that the government has gotten out of control with spending with that 10-year yield. We know it's still at pretty decent lows at 2.85, but it's with the speed with which it's going up that's spooking investors. And now we have Senator Rand Paul. He told our own Neil Cavuto just moments ago, sir, he is saying he is going to filibuster the Senate budget. Watch the vote for it. Watch.
I can keep them here till 3 in the morning, but I will make them listen to me, and they will have to have me listen to, because I'm going to talk about government waste later on this evening.
What's your reaction to that?
That's maybe hopefully that will get some people's attention. And I've expressed the same concern because when we've done this before, at least we demonstrated to the American people, I believe, that we are the party. We are the folks that are going to take on the national debt crisis. We are going to tackle this problem so our kids and our grandkids are not threatened by it. When you see things like on the defense side, even on the defense side, $800 million goes up in smoke and they can't even account for where that one of those dollars went to. That is a problem that we have to fix. And so from my perspective, we need to do what we've done before. Pay for these types of increases. We can have a separate conversation on disaster aid, but on the fundamental increase of spending, let's pay for it like we've attempted to do before, and let's get it done.
The Senate spending deal is a 2-year deal. It faces an uncertain future in the House. A large number of Democrats are saying they're going to vote against it, including Nancy Pelosi. Watch this. We've got Democrat Tim Ryan. He's saying he now has critiques of his own party, his own Democrat Party's economic message. Let's take a listen.
I do have some critiques on our message. I think it needs to be pretty forceful around economic issues, bread and butter issues like pensions and wages. We talk a lot about a $15 minimum wage, which can be appropriate, but as Democrats, I want to see us talk about $35 or $40 an hour. I don't think that the Democratic Party as a whole, both in the House and in the Senate, have sharpened an economic message that speaks to the aspirations of most Americans. Those people who take a shower after work, those are the people we need to speak to.
Yeah, so he's an outlier, sir. He is basically saying aspirational policies is what the Democrats should be about. I mean, that's Tim Ryan, but you have the Democrats fighting about all sorts of other things. And honestly, I think the viewer has had it. We see the polling here. I'm reporting back to you. Constant government shutdowns has driven down Congress's approval ratings to even worse historic lows. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know how we get lower than any further lower than we are. But the bottom line is we are taking care of some things in the sense of tax reform, delivering for the American people. We're starting to see wage increases. We got it right as Republicans. And I reached out to our colleagues on the other side to say, look, tax reform is good for the American people. This means more money in their pocket. You're talking about minimum wages. I just had CVS, which has a facility in our district back home, $11 minimum wage, unilaterally imposed by them as a corporation. Banks in the Midwest going up to $15 an hour. That is to what Tim Ryan's point, I think, is testament to, is if you look at this from the perspective of mom and pops working day in and day out just to take care of themselves and their families, increasing their wages through things like tax reform, we can build this country again. We can make it strong again.
Sir, so you spoke to Democrats. Did any Democrat privately say to you, yes, we are for the tax cuts, but we can't vote for it because of the Democrat leadership? Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer would go after us. Did any Democrats say that to you?
Yeah, there were a lot of conversations along those lines because right now this city is being polarized by its extremes on the left and the right. Let's be perfectly clear on that. But at the same time, what we need to do is break that extremism, break this hard right, hard left type of operation, and let members do what they want to do. They want to represent the people they represent back home, the moms and pops, the sons and daughters, the people that are struggling paycheck to paycheck, just like you heard Tim Ryan talk about. That's why tax reform was such a victory for them. But we need to get the spending under control, because if this debt crisis goes off, it's those same hardworking Americans that got to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Not elected officials in Washington, those folks.
Congressman Tom Reed, good.